Okay. I'll call the Galleon City Council meeting of February 22nd to order. Please stand and repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment, please continue to stand for a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Please be seated.
One chord,
Julie, roll call council members.
Ms. Alt.
Here.
Mr. Bodkins.
Here.
Ms. Durbin.
Here.
Dr. Fellner.
Here.
Mr. Ivy.
Here.
Mr. Richard.
Here.
Ms. Ziegler.
As you can see, Mr. Watt is still not with us tonight. As you can see, I'm up here. We also have Ms. Ziegler, who is not feeling well. So I would like entertain a motion to excuse both of those individuals. Mr. Bodkin made the motion, seconded by Mrs. Durbin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Both these members are excused. Julie, roll call of safety service inspector, elected officials.
Mayor O'Leary.
Here.
Auditor Satterfield.
Here.
Director Law Palmer.
Here.
Treasurer Sparks.
Here.
Safety Service Director Ward.
She was out of it.
Oh, okay. We have several things on the agenda tonight that did not go through committee. First one would be ordinance 2022-14. I have a motion to add that to the agenda for tonight.
I'll make that motion.
Dr. Felder make the motion, second by Ms. Durbin. Roll call.
Ms. Alt.
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins.
Yes.
Ms. Durbin. Yes. Dr. Fellner.
Yes.
Mr. Ivy.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes. That passed with a 6-0 vote. Moving on to resolution 2022-4. Again, I need a motion to add this to the agenda tonight. Mr. Ivy made the motion, second by Ms. Durbin. Roll call.
Ms. Alt.
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins.
Yeah.
Ms. Durbin. Yes. Dr. Fellner.
Yes.
Mr. Ivy.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes. Again, that passed and is added to the agenda for tonight, 6-0 vote. So now we need a motion to approve the amended agenda. Mr. Ivy made the motion, second by Mr. Bodkins, sorry. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
I'm sorry, did we add ordinance 2022-17?
No, that's on the revised, that, we had to
Oh, I
pull
thought I
that,
was looking
so-
at the
Yeah,
rest.
that-
I apologize, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
We should have said something, yeah, we had to pull that one there, so.
Okay,
We'll explain, Doc.
no worries, no,
I
I
gotcha. There's plenty of other stuff.
thought I was asleep.
No.
No.
You didn't get the revised.
The one on the table is revised.
Okay, next up, would any citizens wishing to address council? I think we have one. Donna Wilson.
Oh,
I know you put your name on it. Was any one of you indicated that you was going to put this in for anyone in your group? Is there any one of your group that would like to speak? And if not, that's fine.
we're just here tonight from the Central Motel Apartments, the senior citizen community. I put that in case there was something said that we wanted to speak on. I guess we need to hear first and then maybe comment later. Our main concern is that our community remains a senior citizen apartment.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we're just not quite understanding how this is going to transpire, so we're just basically here for information.
Well, and that will be a discussion. That will be part of that tonight.
Oh, thank you.
Anybody else? And I want to welcome your group from the hotel here. We appreciate any and all faces. Moving on to, we do have a public hearing tonight. Julie.
All right, the public hearing tonight is, as you all know, we renamed Wood Street and a portion of East Street to Covert Way. Well, there's a lady, Mrs. Blevins, that lived on the corner of an alley and the now Covert Way. And I think Ken and other people talked to them, and they talked to the post office about changing the name of her alley, since she lives on the corner of an alley, to Wood Court, and that would allow her to keep her Wood address. It wouldn't be Wood Street, it would be Wood Court, but.
Well, and that was one of the things that was brought up during the time that we changed the name. If all the members remember that we did have a lady that was on Wood Street that, due to various concerns, that she would like to keep the name or the address of Wood. So that's essentially what this is for the public hearing.
I think it's a good compromise.
Yes, I think so too.
They couldn't have, I mean, it was lucky she was on an alley that, you know, it can be taken advantage of for that.
Oh,
reason.
yes,
So,
yes.
good compromise.
If there's any comment, any questions about that?
And there'll be an ordinance later on, but yeah, and it just will go from Covert Way to the first intersection, past her house. That would just be called Wood Court.
It's another alley, right? Excuse me.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
It's another alley.
It's a
That
main
it
alley.
intersects in,
Yeah, it does an intersection of another alley, yeah.
that ends on Riblet or on South Street. You think in your mind's eye towards that.
And these public hearings are for the public, so any of the folks that have come here from the Central Hotel or anybody else that happens to be here, you're more than welcome to make a comment, ask a question, or whatever. And I don't see anybody, don't look like anybody, so I would say that I'm going to go ahead and close this public meeting. And what else?
That's it.
That's it, okay. Okay, moving on next to legislation.
Alright. Third reading. Ordinance number 2022-6, entitled Ordinance Authorizing the Safety Service Director to provide American Rescue Plan Act ARPA funds to the Avita Health Foundation for an inpatient dialysis program and declaring an emergency.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. This is the third reading on this. Comment, question, Dr. Felder?
Go ahead.
I just would like to announce that I'm going to, after my discussion with the law director, I have chosen that I will abstain from this vote because I have a direct conflict with the nature of my job with an affiliation and association through Avita. I just don't think it would be beneficial for the positive or the negative to have taken a position on this.
Okay. Dr. Felder?
Yes, I've also been advised by Mr. Palmer to cast an abstention vote. I don't feel I have a direct conflict. However, the mention that my daughter works in the ICU and possible cross-training, he seemed to feel presented some sort. I disagree, but I will abide by his decision. In light of Ms. Ziegler's absence, I want to ask him if there's a chance to table this. You know, the rule states it has to have 4 votes to pass. It clearly cannot pass if it's left alone. I'd at least like the ordinance to get a fair chance with Ms. Ziegler present. So is it possible to make a motion to delay the third reading?
Well, anybody on council can make that motion.
Okay.
And with a motion and a second, and a vote, yes, you can table that.
Do Mr. Ivy and I have to abstain from that
I
vote
would-
as well?
I would say so, yeah.
Well, and
If you're choosing to abstain in general, yeah.
Don, I have to agree with you, given the circumstances on this. So let me make the motion that ordinance 2022-6 be tabled and to a later time. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Ms. Ault, second motion. Discussion?
Mr. Chairman, may I mention something? So council members know, when you table something to an indefinite time, as opposed to a specific meeting date, you are in essence, for this period of time, stopping that ordinance from being considered. It can come back at the next meeting or any other meeting, but it will have a new number.
And a first reading?
Yes,
So if we specify that it will come back on the March 8th, then it'll come back as the third reading?
that's correct.
Okay.
Any other questions, discussion? Roll call.
Hey, wait a second.
Oh, sorry.
I was just I was at the meeting when this was first discussed. Oh, you were at that,
Which meeting?
a meeting in which it was first discussed, and nobody said diddly about it. So
The
now,
abstention advice came
I know.
after the second reading. There was no way to give you a heads up.
I wanted to surface that issue.
Well,
It's like, okay, so it's like that it is from the point of view of the foundation. But I sure hope that the abstainers or the people who are moving to withdraw that talk to these people. But maybe not.
I've spoken with the law director.
No, I mean, I'm just talking to Avita. They're the ones most directly affected, and I guess the answer, I got the answer. Nobody talked to them. So anyways, I hope that it comes back, and then we'll debate the issue. It's disturbing after two readings that these abstentions come up. But, you know, they only employ 800 people, and the largest employer, so it just seems like it's really late in the process, and I really wonder why no one on council called the foundation to explain what was going to happen to them. Those are my two comments. Thank you.
Chairman, again, just so that the council's aware, the motion that's on the floor, which you're going to be voting on, is one that tables it to an indefinite time, which means it will come back as a brand new ordinance. Ms. Ault asked the question, if you tabled it to a specific date, it can come back for a third reading. That's just to let you know that.
I think Ms. Ault wanted to stipulate that it came back.
Correct.
Correct. To a specific meeting.
Well, then, if that's the
He
case,
seconded his motion.
yeah, but you're going to have to change the motion to do that, and the second.
And we'll have to remove the, okay, I will take and, now does, Mr. Botkin have to remove his second?
No, Ms. Ault.
Or excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, let's go back. I will take and, remove my, original motion. Ms. Ault, if you will remove your second, we'll take and amend the, motion, and matter of fact, you can make that motion if you will,
Okay.
obviously.
I'll remove my second from the original motion and make a motion to move this reading to the March 8th meeting as a third reading for the ordinance 2022-6.
Okay, do we have a second for that? There's no second for that.
You can second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I guess I can. Let me second that. Okay. Any other discussion on this?
No discussion on it.
Oh, on the suspension? Okay.
No, there's no discussion on,
Or,
that's it.
okay, roll call then.
Ms. Ault.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Mr. Palmer, at the last
Yes, ma'am.
meeting, there was a discussion about keeping the dialysis machine at Galleon.
Yes.
The mayor had brought it up.
Yes.
That is not in here, so we're not discussing that anymore.
I promised that there would be two sets of amendments, one without an agreement, one with an agreement. I have those here,
Okay.
but as I understood, it was probably not going to be considered
Right.
tonight. If you would like these, you're more than welcome to them.
I would like to see them. But you'll have those also at the next.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I did not see your hand.
That's okay. I'll yell at you next time.
There.
I'll say, Mr. Third Ward.
Go ahead and do the roll call.
Ms. Alt,
Yes.
Mr. Richard,
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins,
Yes.
Ms. Durbin,
No.
Dr. Fellner,
Abstain.
Mr. Ivy.
Abstain.
So,
That means it did not pass, the motion did not pass,
okay.
which means it's still in front of you as a third reading.
So,
Take back.
what,
Take
Dr.
back.
Fellner?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to
Head back.
pass ordinance 2022-6.
Can you make the motion?
It's his choice, it's his choice.
Okay,
We've had a conversation,
okay, I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to pass 2022-6. Do we have a second? We have a little second, okay? What's that?
Can you not second?
I could if I wanted to, yes. So, okay, so where are we at?
if there's a month that you can have a motion to whatever word you want to use, to decline the ordinance, to turn it down, defeat the ordinance. If there's not one of those, then it automatically is defeated.
Okay, so.
Just got defeated, didn't it?
Yeah, there's no second, so it gets defeated, yeah.
It's
No motion to pass it.
That's what happened. There's no motion to second
That's
to
what- that's
Dr.
exactly
So
what I'm
there's
saying.
no, there's,
But that's what I'm saying, unless there still can be a motion to defeat the ordinance, but there's not going to be.
should have killed it the first or second meeting. Nobody's changed their opinion on this. This is
We're saying the same
Ted
thing.
Mack.
Okay, so, any other discussion? If there's no other discussion on this, then, this, has been defeated, due to lack of a second. And let's move on to ordinance, the next ordinance.
Ordinance number 2022-11, entitled ordinance authorizing the acquisition of real property located in the city of Galleon with all improvements thereon and associated assets, and to authorize and direct the safety service director to execute a purchase and sale agreement attached hereto and other forms pertaining thereto, and declaring an emergency.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance, discussion?
Yes,
Right.
Mr. President Pro Tem, this ordinance came out of economic development, and I will ask that the law director elaborate if he doesn't mind.
Sure.
To help explain.
Sure. I'll try and make this as succinct as I can, unless Tom, you wanted to
I don't want
start
to
it
say
off
anything,
on it.
Doc.
Okay. Mr.
Law director.
This ordinance is an ordinance which, as you can see, authorizes the acquisition of real estate in the city of Galleon, specifically the Central Hotel, and authorizes the safety service director to execute a purchase and sale agreement, which you have in your packet before you. Is there anyone that doesn't have that in their packet? I want to make sure you got it. Okay. What I'd like to do is share with you a few things about some background and tell you kind of what's going on and then suggest a way forward. For those of you who may not know, the Central Hotel was rescued and renovated in the early 2000s to become a senior housing facility. We have a number of the residents of that facility with us tonight. At that time, a relatively complex set of funding and funders was put together. which has changed somewhat since that time. About 6 years ago, a major structural fault was discovered at the hotel, necessitating its immediate closure. There were a lot of discussions about renovation, closure, a lot of other kinds of discussions. The city was at that time approached by the Ohio Capital Corporation for Housing about using the city's revolving loan fund monies, about $900,000 at the time. Discussions and negotiations took place, resulting in those revolving loan fund monies going into the project, and the city received certain types of security in exchange for that, one of which was a thing called a put option. And the put option is what is driving our conversation this evening. The put option authorized the holder of that option after a certain date to transfer its interest in the property to the city of Guion. That date neared and then it went. We entered into discussions and negotiations with Leeds. Leeds is the holder of the put option. We reviewed financial records for the hotel. The mayor's office engaged in a basic visual structural inspection. Someone went through the property of the building. My office hired a real estate attorney with a law firm of Squire, Patton and Boggs, the firm which also serves as the city's bond counsel. That process led to the conclusion that instead of accepting the put, which we are required to accept pursuant to the put option which City Council agreed to 6 years ago, that instead of accepting that interest and the city being the sole member of a limited liability corporation that owns the Central Hotel, that it would be better for all parties if the city took direct ownership of the building itself and the limited liability company would be dissolved. Because this also worked better for Leeds, Leeds was willing to forgive some debt on the building that they may not have otherwise been willing to forgive. For the city of Guion, this provides a better path from a legal and accounting point of view, and will open up the opportunity for us to consider a number of options, including the possibility of selling the property down the road and recouping some economic development loan dollars for use with other businesses in Guion. There is one lien that will be coming with the building that is a $550,000 loan called an HDAP loan. There's a commitment in the contract for Leeds to ask for forgiveness of this amount of money, but if that route is unsuccessful, the loan, the HDAP loan, the $550,000, is totally forgivable at the end of the term, which I think is in 2037. So members of council, the question tonight is not whether or not the city will acquire the property, but how we will acquire the property. I would point out if there were, for any reason, a decision of council not to accept this via a direct ownership transfer, the put will be coming through. So we'll be in the somewhat less advantageous position of being the sole member of a limited liability company that owns the hotel. And that has the possibility of unforgiving, if you will, the liens that I was referring to before. I want to assure, since the members of the hotel are here tonight, that live there and have enjoyed that, and it's been a wonderful lesson for a number of people in the community for 20 years or so, including my own mother, that nothing will change. There's a reason for that. Number one, I don't think there's a desire on behalf of the city for it to change. But even more directly, there are obligations and covenants on the building that won't allow it to be changed in terms of how it's being used. There is a management company with the hotel, and that decision will be made in terms of whether that management company will continue. And going back, as I said before, in terms of where we go from here, this is a first reading. You're more than able to say this for another reading, on the second reading in 2 weeks. If you want any of the legal documents behind here, they're incredibly involved reading, you're more than welcome to do so to put yourself to sleep some night. But there are multiple documents that go with this transaction, and you're more than welcome to see all of them. That's it.
That's fair.
Mr. Palmer, is that $550,000 loan, is that a definite or is that a maybe,
It's,
forgiveness-wise?
no, the forgiveness is a definite.
Okay.
Whether it will actually come with the property is a maybe. They're gonna seek forgiveness of it now. They're gonna say, why are they gonna have to wait for another 12 years or however long it is, 15 years?
Okay, and who's that, what is that $550,000?
Yes,
Who is that with, that loan?
Ohio Capital Corporation for Housing.
Okay. Also, has this corporation paid back any of that development loan that we gave them in 2015?
No, this is the means by which we're getting an interest back in the property. No, the direct answer is no, Paula.
I don't think it was a loan, Paula, it was,
Okay,
But we've not received.
Complete your thought. You're 100% right. I'm sorry.
Paula, that monies, was not a loan that we gave. We gave, I'm sorry, what was the fund again, Tom?
It was our revolving loan, funds, about
Revolving loan.
$890,000.
It was a revolving loan fund that we had built up by lending to small businesses in the community, and they repaid. But we granted them the 900 and X amount of dollars. So I just for clarification, it wasn't a loan. So no, they haven't paid anything back.
so you weren't expecting it to be paid back, is
Correct.
that correct?
There is a promissory note,
Okay.
but this is the way it's being paid back.
They're giving us the building.
Yes,
Okay, so are we actually purchasing the central?
there will be a transfer of ownership.
Okay,
We're not giving any money for it, no.
so the city will reap the benefits of the rent.
Yes.
Okay. There was also something that you didn't say anything about, but there was because I read this whole thing 3 times and I have some questions here, but about the service contracts, do we know what those service contracts are? It says they will become part of.
Are you talking about the management services that are being provided?
Management services was a separate thing. These are, it says service contracts, but it doesn't give any information.
It could be referring to,
It says that the purchaser, which we would be the purchaser, correct, would be taking over those contracts if there were any.
a typical transaction like this, you would be taking on a management contract initially, a service contract for like mechanical services or whatever. But then when that is renewed, you'd have the opportunity to make another decision.
Okay, so, this is, we take ownership of it, but we have to pay property taxes, correct?
That's correct, because it is not being, well, let me step back from that. The easy answer to that is yes. I would argue strongly, and I've been researching this very point, that this is actually public use, because it's being used for low and moderate income senior housing. And I don't know that wouldn't qualify for an ability to not have to pay property taxes. In other words, in the city right now, we own 100 parcels of property, the city does. Some of them we don't have any use for, and we don't use. We have to pay property tax on those if we're not using it for a public purpose. In a park, we don't have to pay property tax. We will try to get this forgiven from property tax. Go ahead.
I think it's important to note that from the time it was first opened until now, there has been no property tax. Okay, that CRA abatement period has expired. So you're right, there'll be taxes due in the tax year after we take possession of it. But it was 100% 15-year abatement.
Okay, and it's 55 and over, and it's gonna stay 55 and over?
Those are part of the covenants. Those covenants will remain on the property.
Okay, do we have to, does the city, since it's new owners, have to reapply to HUD for Section 8 housing, or is that just an automatic?
It's automatic, it stays away. It's all written into the governing documents for the land itself, so.
Okay, and how many units are there? 30?
Currently,
How many, there's 1, 2, and 3 bedroom?
Yes.
There's a laundromat,
At least 4.
and also, is there laundry hookups in each apartment, or?
Not
Not all of them, but some? Okay, do you have a, when somebody comes to visit, are they limited 1 week or
14 days.
14 days? Okay.
Pursuant to the HUD rules.
I'm sorry, what?
That's pursuant to HUD rules, that you're only allowed a visitor for 14 days per year.
Per year. Oh, that's pretty good. That's more than my apartment gives me. But, Fairfield manages it right now.
that's correct.
Okay, do they have a contract with them that we have to honor?
And, yeah, but we've also talked to Fairfield, and that's up to the mayor's office in terms of whether they would continue that or not.
Okay. And insurance, we have to pay for the insurance and everything?
Yeah, city has insurance, we cover that.
It would come all under the umbrella of the others? Okay. That would include fire insurance, and the city would have to cover any major maintenance like the furnace. Is the air conditioning all central?
No, there isn't air
And you pay utilities?
We pay electric.
You pay electric, you don't pay water, you pay sewer or anything?
But the electric bill in my apartment this month was $385.
Do you have a water or two?
She said,
Yeah, it's an all electric, isn't it?
Yes.
There's no gas. Okay, 300?
$385. And
Because
that's hard to do on a fixed income.
we have issues with insulation in windows. The windows are at the end of their life. And we have heat pumps. Heat pumps, the assumption is a well-insulated facility before you install a heat pump, and we don't have that. And utilities are very expensive there.
Probably the biggest problem from a renter's point of view, I think there's some management issues that one of your neighbors had pointed out. Well, I think that's to be expected is their interest in the project is, they have a contractual obligation to work with us. I don't think they're terribly interested in doing the job. But the biggest problem there is the all-electric heat. There's no question about that, and any more complaining about that, we'll have the police come up here and have you removed. So, I mean, if we understand that's something we take over the ownership. We're kind of noodling on it, trying to understand how you can get out from that, all that expensive. And you're in the same situation. There are other apartments in town that were built in about that same period that have all electric. It's.
Well, unless you live on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
I haven't turned my heat on all winter because
Everybody else is You thank them and you give them a nice Christmas present. So we're aware of that, and I know our role will change. Although we'll have a management company, either Fairfield under a sort of a better understanding of what we expect of them, what you expect of them, and or another company. There are other entities out there that could do that. If you'll indulge me, Mike, one more. I think it makes sense to search within the area. I mean, I think there are people around town that could probably manage it if they had the right resources, and that we have to hire Fairfield or any of the big apartment management firms. I'm not sure. If council supports the idea, once we take ownership, I'm more confident that we'll find somebody around town, so to speak, that
You asked earlier, there's 35 of us that live there.
Is that right?
It's all.
Did you all fill out your census?
What's the
Census. Oh, what census? You had no census. You knew that. All right. Well, anyways, yeah, I'm really glad. That's the important part of you being here. It's 35 people. Wow. Thanks for coming.
In the interest of the snow,
Yeah.
here, they plow us in, we go shove our cars out, but they don't go between our cars because that's an extra expense for him to shovel the thing between the cars, and it is our responsibility to move that snow out from between our cars ourselves.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Salt.
And so,
Between our cars.
And we're seniors.
You are.
but, you know,
Why is that? That's just like a standard excuse of all old people.
because,
So
because
am I. No, I didn't know. We don't know anything about the maintenance, to be quite honest. And so we'll hear more about it, and that'll help.
if we fall and hurt ourselves, we're asked, who do we sue? And they said, nobody.
Oh,
Well, we know better.
We know that. The point is,
This guy right over
you
here.
shovel the place out and then they turn around and plow you back in. You have to pay somebody to come shovel you out and do it
that's not-
yourself.
That's not good.
Ms. Alt, you had a question.
I did. I just wanted to point out to Paula's comment about the service contracts on page 12. It does say that they're attached as Exhibit C, so they are in here, the service contracts that they have currently, and there's the monitoring and alarm services, and then the snow removal with Tri-City Lawn. So those were in there.
They probably are garbage.
Do you have to carry renter's insurance?
I do,
Yes, I do.
I do.
Okay.
For the simple,
We're not required.
no, you don't have to, but I do.
Do you have a sprinkling system?
Each room has a sprinkler system, in each room your apartment has, and smoke detectors in each room.
Smoke detector, the other
Yes.
end.
We have those.
And they check them. They check them.
And they change the batteries in them and stuff. When they need to, they change them in the summer and they change it before the end of the winter, they change them.
They leave a battery at my door.
Oh, they change.
They
Well,
change.
we
We
have
have
10
11-foot
We
ceilings.
have 7 foot, we're not permitted to climb a ladder to change the, battery of a 10-foot ceiling.
Mr.
They like
Hopkins,
us
you
not
had a
to.
question?
Well, I just like to say, I think the main thing that they think about also is the lease agreements or the rent going to stay the same for a while. Is that managed through the company? Something, we're not going to up the rent all at once. What it costs to live there. It's going to stay the same for a while.
Let me add too that this is what we're discussing tonight is the best way forward to get the Central Hotel back in city control. Essentially, that's what you have before council tonight. It's not, while everything that's been mentioned are good and needed questions and answers, but right now what we need to do is discuss the pertinent information about the agreement to take the hotel back. Currently, I was sitting on the committee that moved this to full council, and Mr. Ivy would probably be able to elaborate a little more, but basically what this amounts to is, as Mr. Palmer had said, what is being suggested is the best of two options. The fact of the matter is, and I want to make this perfectly clear, is that the hotel will be coming back to Gallion in the sense of ownership. How that comes back is what we're basically deciding on that you have in front of you. Just want to make sure let everybody know.
Hey, Ken, no, I don't think we're gonna raise the rents. And the structural engineer, 2 comments, because this is, we hired a structural engineer to look at the building. That was, in Thomas's presentation, he was talking about, we had somebody come and look at the building. It wasn't Daryl, and Daryl. It was a structural engineer. There's a report, you can take a look at that. It does, it gives us confidence that there isn't a major looming maintenance item out there. Another thing that hasn't been mentioned, but if we get this first step taken, that it's our intention to use a large portion of the existing revolving loan fund, the same pool of funds that went originally into getting our investment, if you will, and allocate that for maintenance. I gotta believe once you get up and running, there are going to be issues that will come up that would be the owner's obligation. And so we don't want to be taking possession of this in March, let's say, and then, come with our tail between our legs back up here in, August and say, well, you never know with an old building. So we intend to seed the fund, which the auditor will, in all due course, get funds set up for us to be able to do those kinds of expenditures. But that's if you're thinking, well, what if something happens? Where will the money come for that? And I think the answer is our intention is to use that CDBG revolving loan fund. It's about $80,000. So anyway, thank you for letting me introduce those three items.
Thank you. Ms. Durbin.
This is the only, housing for 55 and over in Gallion, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct on that?
I don't think so. Yeah, you used to. Also.
Well, I
Harding
researched
Manor
it.
is
Harding
that
Manor.
one?
I did the research. There's only
No.
this one. Yeah.
Harding Manor is not.
There's,
Oh,
Okay.
there's some that will take the Section 8 houses and some apartments, but they're not all this one.
Okay. Well, in a couple of weeks, you'll get a chance to vote for a tax incentive for another major senior income adjusted housing. So let's get this one done, and then we'll vote for the one on Hosford Road, right?
Gallion East is not only for seniors 55 and older, but they also accommodate the developmentally disabled and things like that, and younger. Yeah.
Thank you.
Are there any rooms or apartments that are strictly for disabled people? No.
No, but if you have a disability, they're required again under the HUD contract to provide you with bars, handheld showers, the reasonable accommodations you need to be able to live there. The Fairfield Homes has to take on that expense to provide that with a doctor's, like almost a prescription, or a doctor's excuse.
This lady's had her hand up for a while.
Well, it was intended for the seniors when they did their remodeling, why it wasn't, because I cannot get in the bathtub. I have to have help, and we're all afraid of falling. I mean, absolutely, you're afraid of falling when you're this old, because I don't want firemen coming in and pick me up there. But what I'm saying is they have remodeled, why weren't they cut the showers out, for a walk-in shower?
They have?
No.
Well, not everybody's handicapped.
Some of them.
I have a son in a wheelchair, and
Yeah.
he plays help getting in and out of the bathtub.
No.
Yeah, they have
I have a hard time too. The doctor requested I have a walk-in shower, but I didn't get that request. And that's just, to me, I was being.
Yeah. Well, this has been a good discussion. This will be held to this first reading.
You don't have to do that, Mr. Chairman. You can go ahead and suspend the rules and pass it tonight if that's council's choice.
Can I make one more, Mike? The comment about all that's news to us. We're the silent partner, if you will. And we weren't asked about that. I think one advantage of local ownership will be to try to figure out how to put in one of those bathtubs. What is it?
Walk-in tubs?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how much they cost, but you're gonna have to figure out what.
walk-in shower.
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
we have a maintenance man, okay?
Right.
Well, we have one, but he works 3 different buildings.
Right.
Okay? So we have one whenever they're there.
Same with the manager, they're covering a couple
Yeah,
of their
that's-
complexes.
We don't have a
I'm not, I don't have, we need to do better than that.
Mr. Ivy?
I have absolutely no issues with suspending the rules, but I just want to ask one question. I think I posed this question in the committee meeting. So the bottom line is the city is going to obtain the building regardless. So what is the greatest advantage if we go in this direction versus the greatest risk if we choose not this direction in layman's terms?
The greatest benefit is that we get to do this on our terms.
Okay.
We don't have to be beholden to the terms of Leeds or anyone else.
Okay.
So it gives us maximum flexibility, it gives us the maximum opportunity to have as few loans as possible on it, and it just puts us more in control, and that's something which I think is a direct benefit to the city.
And the exact opposite would more likely occur if we chose.
Well, not total opposite. I mean, they probably wouldn't try and directly stiff us on it or anything, but yes.
Believe me, and the other option is a lot of assumptions, hopes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and this is, I will say, this is about a 6-month to a year negotiation which took place.
Mr. President, the only thing I would want to add to that is that there was in order to have Ohio Capital Corp., which was a major holder in this LLC, exit in a favorable way, we decided to take that on. There's a pretty significant outstanding loan that OCC is going to go ahead and, I'm not sure what the right verb is, but it is not going to come on the shadow of the LLC or onto us. So that's another advantage. Go ahead, Thomas.
Well, yeah, Leeds is committing to try and get that forgiven now. It's the same one we were talking about before.
$550,000.
Right, but if it isn't successful in getting that forgiveness, it is totally, completely forgivable at the end of the term.
Which is 37.
Yeah, I think it's 37, 39, something like that.
And then you could change the composition of the residents.
Yes.
I don't plan on being around in 37, so I'm not terribly worried about it. But that's the only. Some people worry. Well, could they dump us out, put in a bunch of yuppies or young families, all that stuff? Not till after 37.
Okay. You've got 15 years.
So,
And most of us probably won't be here.
yeah, it's just the reality of it. I'm not trying to be mean or.
I will be.
You might be, but my point is that there's no. In order to avoid us owing that $500,000, we got to stay in the senior housing business. So I think that's okay. And I think if I had to trust an entity, the city is, I hope you trust us to stay in the business rather than some LLC that has a couple of reluctant astronauts in the space capsule.
Yeah.
Because they want out, we don't want out. It's our town, it's our square. The other entities would like to say thank you very much and move on.
Mr. Bodkins.
Yes, I want to thank this nice group for coming here tonight, but also, I'm sure you have a meeting room at where you go. You could put a little group of people together and let 2 or 3 be in charge. Put all your concerns down, that way you wouldn't have to come up here every time. And I know it's hard for someone to get here and come back and give us a list. Try not to double.
And that would be something I would recommend.
You did that.
We brought that up to Fairfield. They speak down to us, and they let us know that every chance they get.
But we knew your concerns.
And that's just like a resident committee.
I asked today about having a meeting in our community room. Maybe we could get some council members there to talk. I was told I was not allowed to do that because they're still under 10 or less people in the meeting.
Okay. All right, well.
I asked today.
All right, Chief, why don't you let's get us down to 10 in here. Let these people go home. No, isn't that funny, Jack? I don't know what to tell you.
The
That's-
manager today told me.
Well,
They treat us sometimes like children. It's very annoying to us who are grown.
it's really, yeah.
Older than she is.
Well,
Well, members, we've had a good discussion on this. Mr. Palmer indicated that we could suspend the rules on this if you so desire, and I'm asking your pleasure. Or do you want to just go ahead and leave this at a first reading and then have it come up at our next council meeting the first part of next month? Dr. Feldner. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I would like to see it go through another reading, just one more. We have a council member, and we've talked about this, and I know she has some things that she has questions on.
I mean, that's perfectly
Just
fine.
one more reading, I'm not opposed to it, but I think we do a lot of stuff on suspended rules, and I think this is something that the citizens need to know we're doing it as well. The rest of the citizens in town.
Dr. Feldner.
Agreed.
Okay. So I'm assuming the consensus is the same. So we'll have this at the first reading and then take it up at the next council meeting. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next ordinance.
Ordinance number 2022-12, entitled ordinance amending ordinance number 2021-114, permanent 2022 appropriations by appropriating from unappropriated funds in the general fund and declaring an emergency.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance, discussion. Dr. Feldner.
Yes, this ordinance came through Finance Committee. It is a request of the $60,000 for the depot.
You got it, yeah.
Thanks.
If I might,
I can't elaborate, so I'd ask the mayor to go ahead and fill in the
last
details
year-
for Mr. Satterfield.
yeah, last year, I suppose because of COVID, I mean, we could blame it on COVID. We did not use the $60,000 in the 2021 budget that was allocated a portion for the depot. This year, when we put our 22 budget, and there was no encumbrance to carry it over. So in January, with the new appropriation, that spending authority went away. There is $50,000 in there, if you will consider it new money. And so what this is a request is to reappropriate, if you will, or supplementally appropriate out of unappropriated funds the 60 grand from last year. The urgency, if you will, on it is that there was, we solicited proposals from a couple architecture firms. That their proposals were a lot more than I thought. Subsequently, we did a couple of things. One, we made contact with a couple of other architecture firms. We hope to get a different, better quote, but in any of the 3 or 4 situations of proposals, I think it's going to be more than the $50,000 that we have. So all of that being said, this is to supplementally appropriate what we didn't spend last year, and in order that we can get an architect on board and get this project finalized.
And just kind of my understanding is the importance of having the architect come through and do the plans is because SCAT has planned and has funding available to do their portion that they're going to be using, and they're on a time frame. So we need to make sure that we're kind of holding up our end of the deal and doing what we are going to do so that they are able to invest that money into their portion, so that they have that usable space also.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And in order to get the Richland County Commercial, the building department over there to approve it, we need an architect stamp. So we want to be able to get the SCAT part of the project, about $280,000 worth of the total cost, get a set of plans so that can get done, and then identify what the additional cost will be. But yeah, you're right, that's.
Barry, you might add, let them know too, especially the folks out there, that what exactly it's intending to do.
Well, they're gonna put their Crawford County headquarters. They're currently in Bucyrus, near downtown in Bucyrus. I think it works for them, but this would be an upgrade in space. Without getting into the whole debate over whether the Galleon area has equal access to public transportation. We'll save that for another night. I don't think they do. But anyways, I believe that to have SCAT over here mobilizing from the Galleon area to improve service. So it's I think it's not as good as having daily passenger train service at the depot, but it does have a transportation link. So that's what their intention is. It'll occupy most of the first floor, the common area, and Gentili's Meat for those people who can think back to the Bob Meeks days, or the ticket office area for the real old timers.
Mr. Butkin.
Yeah, we talked about this the last time, and I think it's an emergency to get this started so we can start getting something back from the investment.
Yeah.
We drag it on this time every day there, so I'd like to see this move forward as soon as possible. I don't know what the rest of you feel like, but that's what.
Mr. Bodkins, is that a motion or?
Yeah, why not?
So we have a motion to suspend the rules on ordinance 2022-12, correct? Do we have a second? Ms. Alt, second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bodkins?
Yes.
Ms. Alt?
Yes.
Ms. Durbin?
No.
Dr. Fellmer?
Yes.
Mr. Ivy?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
First reading.
Okay.
Hey, may I say one more thing? Then I'll run out of here at the end of the meeting. I won't bother you with that. We are in if it's a 5-step process, we're probably in step 2 of putting together an application for capital bill funds to fund the remainder of what is the expected proposal from the architects. We don't have city cash appropriated or reserved. We have city cash, but we're going to make a request to have the state capital bill pick up. And we're still working on the amount. State rep will be here Thursday. We'll give them the tour, and if there are any dead pigeons in there, any vagrants. But anyways, Reardon McLean will be here on Thursday. And in the past, when we've got capital funds, that's been the success. The path is to make him aware of it, and then there's an actual deadline for community projects, and we think we'll be able to beat that deadline. So anyway, that's just a little extra information, and I don't believe the fact that we haven't appropriated that money, that won't affect that.
Okay. Well, since the suspension of the rules did not pass, this will be the first reading. It will be on the agenda for next council meeting. Moving on to the next order.
What's she in front of the depot?
Ordinance number 2022-14. Entitled ordinance approving the naming of an unnamed alley to Woodport beginning at Covert Way and ending at the first intersection alley to the south.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. Mr. Bodkins, this kind of came through your committee, I understand. Would you like to make any comment about it, other than what we did have the public meeting just earlier in this meeting?
Well, I just believe this is going to make her life a little easier, that's all. That's all it's going to do. She's trying to change her address or the name or her addresses on her checks and so forth. And she's the only one there right now on that street, so I thought it was just a good gesture to do that. She lived there a long time.
You're here. I agree, Ken. I thought Mark had a good idea to come up with the way to get Covert Way, and this just takes the one wrinkle that was in there and irons it out.
So I think it's gonna be at ease right now.
So, Dr. Feldner.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and proceed to the final reading on ordinance 2022-14.
We have a motion to suspend the rules by Dr. Feldner, second by Mr. Bodkins. Roll call, please.
Dr. Feldner.
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins.
Yes.
Ms. Durbin.
Yes.
Mr. Ivy.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes.
Ms. Alt.
Yes.
The motion passed 6-0. Moving on back to the original ordinance. Further discussion. Dr. Feldner.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to pass ordinance 2022-14.
We have a motion to pass, second by Ms. Durbin. Discussion. Roll call.
Dr. Feldner.
Yes.
Ms. Durbin.
Yes.
Mr. Ivy.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes.
Ms. Alt.
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins.
Okay, that passed 6-0 vote. Next is ordinance 2022-15.
Ordinance number 2022-15, entitled Ordinance Authorizing the Safety Service Director to apply for and accept an Ohio Department of Commerce Division of State Fire Marshal Fiscal Year 2022 Multi-Agency Radio Communication System MARCS grant and declaring an emergency.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. Discussion.
Through of Ms. Seeger's absence, if I may, this came out of Police, Fire, and Health Committee. And Chief Jackson gave a wonderful presentation for us last week, and if he doesn't mind, if you'd like to.
I won't do the whole thing.
No, that's very grateful for that. Right.
This is, and whoever was on council a couple of years ago, we received a major part of the MARCS grant. MARCS is that multi-agency radio communication system that allows us to speak. I can be anywhere in the state, even outside the state, and talk to Galleon as if I was on a cell phone through our radio equipment. That was previously kind of limited by our antennas and things. It is the same system State Highway Patrol uses to communicate throughout the state. So this is a system we received a major grant for, $50,000 a couple of years ago, replaced about 80% of our equipment with it, and we have some vehicles that that funding didn't provide the uplift or upgrade to those. So this grant is 100%. There's no local match. It's already included in our 207 budget and 207 under fire grants. And what we're asking you to do is authorize this $11,387 to be applied for and received, and then used in a way that we already kind of hoped and budgeted for. Any questions?
Well, I think it's fantastic that you've been successful at getting the grants you have achieved. So, Mr. Ivy.
If there's no other questions from council, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules on ordinance number 2022-15 and move to a final reading.
We have a motion on the floor to suspend the rules by Mr. Ivy, second by Ms. Alt. Roll call.
Mr. Ivy.
Yes.
Ms. Alt.
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins.
Yes.
Ms. Durbin.
Yes.
Dr. Feldner.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes. Motion passed 6-0. Back to the original ordinance. Mr.
I make a
Ivy.
motion to pass 2022-15.
A motion passed the ordinance by Mr. Ivy, second by Mr. Bodkins. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Ivy.
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins.
Yes.
Ms. Durbin.
Yes.
Dr. Feldner.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes.
Ms. Alt.
Yes.
That also passed 6-0 vote. Moving on to the next ordinance, 2022-16.
Ordinance number 2022-16, entitled Ordinance Authorizing the Safety Service Director to enter into a mutual aid agreement with Life First Ambulance District, Crawford County, Ohio, relating to emergency medical services and declaring an emergency.
You've heard the reading of the ordinance. Mr. Ivy.
Again, I believe this came out of Police, Fire, and Health. And if the mayor would be so kind, can you explain?
Sure.
A little bit? Thank you.
Aaron, I would say this is, there's a new configuration in the EMS world. And they ask us, this group, which represents townships as close as Whetstone, just west of Polk Township, and all the way up into villages like Tyro, I believe Attica, and then the northern tier of townships. So our expectation is that they would call us very rarely. And so we're really not offering to provide 911 ambulance service, but really be backup in a dire emergency. So I'll say one more thing and then see if Phil needs to correct that a little bit. I see it where we could be most helpful, where this agreement would be most helpful, is on 30 in the section in Whetstone Township, where you had a major incident, and our advanced life-saving paramedics could make a real difference. That's where if you go back and look at when this was ever used, I would think that would be, one of the more important situations. So I'm not sure what else. Or agriculture, where we've got a bucket truck. We can go help somebody in dire straits where they can get there in time. That's always a tragedy with time being a big factor.
Yeah, to go on what the mayor's saying, this is a very standard agreement. We can actually respond and assist them in a dire emergency without it. But municipalities and townships, they like to have this on record, basically already pre-authorizing you to respond and help. And likewise, it returns similar to the Cobra fire we had township departments come up on. So it reciprocates, and it's an agreement. Mutual aid is what it sounds like. The one thing, the mayor's right, our ladder truck is very instrumental on high angle rescue, rain bins, things like that. But we're also, Galleon has the county's dive team. We are the county's dive team. So you think about Satters's reservoirs and some of the reservoirs out in the townships, that also authorizes that kind of service as well. But this one specifically, because it's new, because of the new formation of that Light First Ambulance District, which is Chatfield, Liberty, Whetstone, Cranberry, Sandusky, and Auburn, Tyler. I'll have a look it up. It's those townships, and we don't expect to really be used. It's not making like contractually that we have to go do something. It's just allowing that if they have a need and we have the personnel that we can help them, and so on that.
Ms. Durbin?
Does this call for county only?
This one is, when you sign an agreement, this is just for those ones asking for that agreement. These townships are all in Crawford County.
The Attica's not in that?
No.
I think they were in the original, or they're in that fire district. So
You're right.
Any other questions? Chief, is there a time issue on this?
Again, if they have something major, we're gonna go, but to protect all of our interests, it's nice to have this on the books.
Mr. Ivy?
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules on ordinance 2022-16 and move to a final reading.
A motion on the floor to suspend the rules. Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Dr. Feldner, second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ivy?
Yes.
Dr. Fellner?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
Ms. Alt?
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins?
Yes.
Ms. Durbin?
Yes.
The motion passed, a 6-0 vote. Back to the original ordinance. Mr. Ivy?
I'll make the motion to pass ordinance 2022-16.
We have motion to pass the ordinance from Mr. Ivy, second by Mr. Bodkins. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ivy?
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins? Ms. Durbin?
Yes.
Dr. Fellner?
Yes.
Mr. Richard?
Yes.
Ms. Alt?
Yes.
That passed also, 6-0 vote. Moving on next to resolution 2022-3.
Resolution number 2022-3, entitled Resolution Approving the Appointment of Andy Wildenthaler to the Galleon Port Authority Board of Directors and declaring an emergency.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. Mr. Ivy?
Mr. President Pro Tem, this came out of economic development. Moved to council for further discussion. I can just say that Ms. Wildenthaler is the newly appointed CEO of the YMCA. She's been a lifelong Galleonite. Know her and her family very well, and I think she's got outstanding character. That's really all I can say about her. So.
completely agree, and with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules on Resolution 2022-3 and proceed to the final reading.
We have a motion on the floor to suspend the rules by Dr. Fellner, second by Mr. Ivy. Roll call, please.
Dr. Fellner.
Yes.
Mr. Ivy.
Yes.
Mr. Richard.
Yes.
Ms. Alt.
Yes.
Mr. Bodkins.
Yes.
Ms. Durbin.
No.
The suspension of the rules did not pass, 5-1 vote. So this will be held to a first reading. This will then appear on the next council agenda. Moving on to resolution 2022-4.
Resolution number 2022-4, entitled Resolution Making Appointments to the Community Reinvestment Area Housing Council pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 3735.69A and declaring an emergency.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. Mr. Palmer.
Just to point out to council, two of the members of the present council are the two considerations here, which means you're not going to be able to suspend tonight. You're going to have to hold this to a second and a third reading.
Okay.
Do we have to appoint both of them?
Do you have to appoint
No,
both?
I'm saying, I thought there was just one appointment. Sorry.
Well, on the ordinance in question, there's two listed, so.
Why is that?
Because we had
did
to
that.
give him because Tasha said we needed to give him a term, because there was no term, it was indefinite, so just put the term on there.
So, and the two members are Mr. Ivy and
Who
Ms.
has already been on there, yeah, Ms. Alt, yes.
And I would point out, even if it was one member with an absence of Ms. Ziegler, you couldn't pass it back anyway.
That's right.
Well, I just like to add, I think that both are great additions to that, so. Thank you. Any other discussion on this? Okay, well, again, this goes to first reading and will be appearing on the agenda for next council. Next is other business, and this is where I'm going to interject because I made a technical error. I did not request the minutes of approval from our last council meeting to be approved, and what I'd like to do now is to do that real quick. So, for the members, you should have gotten a copy of the minutes from our last meeting. And if there is no changes or anything, entertain a motion to approve. I have a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting by Mr. Ivy, second by Ms. Durbin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are approved from the February 8th meeting, and I do apologize to council. On to other business. Julie, you have a letter?
Yes, this is from, you all should have had it in your package, this is from MVAH Partners, and this is regarding the Galleon Senior Lofts development. This did come by certified mail, and it is to apprise the council that Ohio Heartland Community Action Commission or a subsidiary thereof plans to be the majority member and a subsidiary of MVH Holding LLC plans to be the minority member of a residential rental development located in or within 1/2 mile radius of your political subdivision and will submit an application to utilize the multifamily funding programs of the Ohio Housing Financing Agency, OFA, for the development of this property. And if we had, I didn't read it all, you have it all in front of you. That is the one that's intersection of Portland Way South and Hospital Road. And it says we have the right to submit comments to OFA regarding the proposed project impact on the community. Any objection to the project must be submitted in writing and signed by a majority of the voting members of the legislative body. Comments must be received by OFA within 30 days of the mailing date of this notice. And I'm not sure, I have the
February 10th.
Yeah, so yeah, if you guys want to do that, we would have to get something out pretty quick. It was signed, I didn't have it was mailed on February 9th, it looks like. Or 19th, I think so.
Mr. Bott.
This is directed to Mr. Mayor. You said that you needed somebody on a committee. Is that what some of the?
Yeah, that's what we just, and
I called up and said I'd volunteer for that, but I never got called back, but that was all right.
that's okay too. Talk to the gentleman to your right. I think that's, they're the two.
I didn't know.
Yeah. As far as a term, I don't know that.
I'll volunteer.
Thank
Wow. Is there any comment or anything on this letter? I think the opportunity to put a development in there for senior citizens in that location, I think is great. I'm glad that they're moving forward with that. Any other business?
I just have a question regarding that. You don't feel that there'll be any more movement until our final third reading to have a complete CRA board, do you?
Those housing credits are typically not announced for, I would say, another month or two.
Okay. We should have time.
They're in a mix of.
Aaron, you're already on,
Right.
this was just stating, so you were already appointed.
Right.
Okay, so we're just,
It's just a fun turnaround.
we're missing Kara, so I don't know.
Should be fun there.
Okay.
Just one more thing, I'd like to thank these nice people for coming up here tonight. Wish we had as much interest on other subjects. I thank you very much.
Just vote yes, Ken.
Yes.
When we get the no voter, stop obstructing. Hey, as far as that person,
Wow.
that term thing, I didn't know anything about that. So I think Aaron's appointed. There's
Yeah.
a way you could solve that by taking that, by amending it, and you could get to that number of votes.
It could pass next meeting. That way.
If that was done, if the council member wanted, he's already appointed. All
I can vote without
yeah.
conflict.
Yeah,
Okay.
it could be a clerical change.
You could vote for Kara. And the problem is she can't vote for herself,
And you need 6 people here to get it.
I could amend it and make a separate ordinance for Aaron that would put it in his term.
I think I'm gonna agree with the mayor. I don't think it's necessary.
I was just told that I didn't, so.
Sorry.
Kelly. Okay, moving on to elected officials report, Auditor Satterfield.
Passed out the reports to you all today. They're hot off the press just about 6:30 this afternoon and this evening. Revenue report, we're at 1.5 million year for the month. We're at 3.58 for the year. Second page is going to be your expenses. See where we're at with those. I'm just giving you the last page, and then the last 2 pages are once again. The first one is the year-to-date statement of cash position. As you can see, again, we don't have 21 closed out yet, so I don't have beginning balances in. So you have to kind of combine page 1 and page 2 to show kind of where we're sitting. We are making progress. I have the state auditors coming in this Thursday to help with some training and again, what's the term I'm looking for? Who's going to help? They're staying within their means about being able to help us. I am really close on July's reconciliation. A couple little hiccups I'm hoping that they're going to help me with. And today I made a lot of progress, and we'll have July, August, September, and October presented to them for review, and hopefully by the time they get here Thursday, I will have November and December as well for the payroll, not the operating. It's a lot easier to do the payroll than it is the operating. But that's getting us progress. Purchase orders are getting out, bills are getting paid, we're trying to stay on top of things, so. Appreciate the help with all the departments and department heads because we are intermittently locking them out of the system so that we can go back into 21 and do things so we don't have any hiccups and mistakes. Where somebody enters a purchase order, they don't realize that they're looking in August of 21 and then they run a purchase order back then and they try to pay a bill from 21. So a lot of work left to be done, but we're, in my humble opinion, today was a good day. Last week was a very bad week. So we have goods and bads. Any questions?
I got a quick question. The encumbrances on that are there from last year, and there's 3 areas I think that we need to be concerned about. That's water, sewer, and electric. Many of those encumbrances do you expect those to shake out?
I think some of them will, yes. We made a strategic decision to not jump around because we have to change months and process things. So, as I told you before, when I did the revenues last year, there were expenses that we didn't have entered into the system. And there are still some expenses that Blue Jackets, the electronic fund transfers that have not been entered. Instead of just going in and blanket entering them in, we're doing them month by month. So I actually have folders together for August, September, October, November. So when we get to doing those months, we're going to take care of those one at a time. So they will whittle themselves down. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And both Brian's office and the mayor's office are watching those encumbrances. That's real important because it'll have such a big impact on the carryover balance. So another one, if you're looking at that, the $6 million in electric. We paid all our bills, and they have to make those posting adjustments. So we don't have $6 million of outstanding bills in the electric fund. You wouldn't want to draw that conclusion. So those 3 key funds, I think, the fund balance will come back. It'll be a scary low level, but it's not as low as it looks on the bracketed 22 printout that Brian has on that.
The other thing with that is what you don't see is that there's negative numbers in there, especially in 2021, and that's going to change because we haven't made the transfers, and we're doing those as we're closing the month. So when we closed June, we realized that there was some transfers need to be made to zero out the street department, the pension funds, airport.
Yep, those are the ones those bills came in July and August
it will shake itself out. If the state auditor wants me to have 21 closed by the end of March, that's not going to happen. But if I make some progress, I mean, literally, July was easier than June. August is going to be easier than July. Once I know where I'm looking for, where to look for, and how to get the information. It's all Excel spreadsheet stuff and then data entering. I mean, just putting it together. So, literally spent today. I got 3 months of payroll done today because I knew what I was looking for and where to look for it. So, we're getting there. And patience, please. But I get it. I mean, there's only so much patience. I'm working harder than I did before.
Thank you, Brian. Treasurer Sparks.
I don't have anything, but Brian's office is doing a good job. Every day is getting to be a better day. Appreciate that office's efforts, mayor's office, everybody's efforts in this endeavor, and that he's appreciated. And we are going to get there. So that's it.
Thank you, Rob. Director Allpart.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Mayor.
I've had plenty to say. I don't have anything to add. I'll answer any questions people have.
I don't have anything either. Mr. Bodkins.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I have a motion by Mr. Bodkins to adjourn and second by Mr. Ivy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, and we are adjourned at
8:24.
8:24. Thank you very much, everyone.